I have a short YouTube video, it's like 3 minutes.
I think skip the video, but go over the analysis of the story, because we saw a video on Alice Walker.
Okay.
Just for time.
Alright, well, I have an introductory paragraph. Alice Walker is notorious for being an African-American poet, novelist, and feminist. Walker grew up poor, obtaining her education through segregated schools, but she still managed to receive valedictorian. Her achievements from graduating Sarah Lawrence College to winning the Pulitzer Prize all shows just how hard she pushed herself from a life of poverty to what people believe today is a life of riches. Her passion for poetry was her own way to release emotion and a way to portray her struggles, and I believe Everyday Use was one of those poems. The poem?
It's a short story.
Short story. The short story portrays a strong, free-born mother who knew her roots and heritage but failed to implant them properly in the life of her daughter Dee. Dee discarded her natural roots and tried to create her own, surprising her mama by wearing traditional African clothing but also changing her name to Wangaro, an African American name. To most parents it would be a pleasant surprise, but to mama it was a disappointment. My thesis statement was that she knew her roots and heritage but didn't implant them properly into her daughter.
Hold on, I want to see the movie.
Okay. It makes more sense after you know it. The poem now is my YouTube video, but
Oh, okay, well then do the video.
okay. basically the whole story. If I go back.
This is a lot like Alexi's what?
Okay. So my concluding paragraph basically, in conclusion, the moral of the story is to appreciate where you came from and never lose culture. There are also some themes incorporated in the short story, everyday use, heritage being one of them. The importance of heritage is ironic in the story because although Wangara tries to embrace her family heritage by asking for her belongings, she proves to her mama that it's only for show, not knowing the true importance of things. Although heritage is important throughout the story, a theme of family is also observed equally due to the homecoming of both daughters. The mother, also serving as the narrator, reflects on her daughters' lives and sees an importance in keeping up with both of them. Although we see Wangara in a different light, being difficult to handle and hard to get through, nevertheless, mama loved her equally. So those were two themes that I found. And I also found a blog. It was a quick analysis that somebody wrote.
So when you're writing your essays, you should be looking at these blogs and websites before you sit down to write, because it'll help you focus your thoughts. Miles, you gotta hurry, so if you can go through quickly, skip it and go to writing.
Oh yeah, so it basically goes over the whole story. And explains how Maggie may not be viewed in the same rating light as her older sister, but her ability to stay humble, hardworking, and be kind to those around her ultimately rewarded her in the end because she got the clothes. And it just has a bunch of other little facts that it goes deeper into. And my writing prompt was basically, if you were mama, you were the older, you were the mom of these two daughters. Which daughter would you appreciate more? The one that tried to embrace the culture, or the one that doesn't really try and is more humble, but embraces it by just being with her family, 24/7?
Yeah, you're gonna have to type that out.
Okay.
Or I'll write it in magic marker on the board. So the mother has two daughters. One is not educated, stays home, lives with her in not great conditions. The other girl goes off to college, comes home with an African name, claims she's a Muslim, blah, 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 much smarter, much more sophisticated, much more successful. But the mother has to choose between the two daughters who's going to get the family quilt. And she chooses to give it to the daughter who's going to put it to quote unquote everyday use, which is why the title is called.
Yeah, so
Make it much bigger.
Okay.
No one's going to be able to see that. Yeah, that's a better one.
yeah, try to simple it.
Even bigger if you can.
How do you do that?
Alright. In Mama's point of view, which daughter appreciates the culture heritage